What's going on, folks? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Duck Gun Chronicles out here on the houseboat. As you can see, plenty of work to do. It's a different weekend, actually, though, than any other time because I got my family with me. How you doing, Bricky?
Good.
Good. What do you think of the boat? How cool is it? The coolest thing ever? It's the coolest thing ever? Okay. Leading the witness there, but I think they think it as cool as I do. So, got Macy. Macy, say hi.
Hi.
You love the boat? Playing with some toys in the cabin? And got the wife.
Hey,
What's your name?
pretty cool.
We'll have to ask you, We'll have to ask you because everybody always asks me, but are you okay with the boat project?
Yeah. You never know with him, but yeah.
Yeah. So, we got a lot of work to do. I'm gonna get to caulking the rest of the boat. I've actually tasked my wife with doing deep cleaning. I know her strengths, so she's already over here scrubbing the chessboard. But we'll have a little bit of a woman's touch in the cabin here. Some of the cobwebs will come off the corner, or the dust will come off the windowsills and that kind of stuff.
I'll do my best.
So stay tuned. We're gonna get after it. Brookie, what's the plan on the boat? What's the big plan? Why are we doing all this work?
So the boat doesn't sink?
So the boat doesn't sink, but once we get it on the water, what am I gonna do? Do you even know what I'm gonna do with the boat?
Fish?
Fish? I thought you think I'm gonna fish on the boat? Hunt ducks.
Camp?
Camp? Yeah, probably do a little bit of fishing. This girl, I think her heart lies with fishing and camping more than duck hunting, but we'll work on it. So I got a lot to do, so we're gonna get started. All right, so in the last video you guys saw that we got the boat caulked to the water line, which was great. The only issue is we have stuff like this where like that whole line just fell out of that seam, which is it's not gonna hold water. So I'm not gonna hold water back. So I'm gonna have to go through, I think, through the whole thing and just double check all the seams. We got some great seams like these where zero water's getting in that. But you don't want death by 1,000 pinpricks here where water's coming in. And in that case, we do have a couple on the angle where it's a lot more than a pinprick. That's no bueno. So if I can caulk it, and I'll be here to like keep running around like as it cures and kind of reforming it on those seams. But I still got a lot of work. I got the whole backside and I got above the water line the whole way around. Not to mention touching up some of those small spots on this side of the boat. This side of the boat actually fared pretty well. I think we ended up using more caulk on this side than the other side. We're running a little thinner. And that extra caulk just held a little bit better. And I don't know if it's like with the moisture and the boards kind of poofing up and shrinking back down a little bit, or what exactly caused it. But either way, I do know that I need to redo some caulking. So that's fine. I'm glad that I caught it, opposed to just thinking we're good coming here to paint and having a bunch of patchwork to do later on. So we're going to get to crack-a-lacking. As always, trying to stay on the time schedule and stay under budget. And neither one of those are easy to do on this type of project. So stay tuned, guys. We'll get after it. All right, so I got this side all the way up to the right above the rub rail, which is like bare minimum to there. It took me about 3 more tubes to do here up to there. So that's good news. I mean, I bought 18 in my last purchase right here, but I think I'll have enough. So now it just comes down to taking the time to finish her up. It's getting hot, sun's beating down, and I think we should jump over here now. Keep her rolling. Alrighty, folks. Well, it's a hot, sweaty one out there. But put my wife to work. Excellent job, I must say, though, of getting the V-berth to up to snuff. It's way cleaner than it was in here. Brookie is not shy at all of the camera, so she's sneaking down here while we're talking. But found another giant mess. So my wife's like, "Hey, this is falling apart," and sure enough, I look in there, start ripping off some boards, and just when we thought we had all the squirrelness out of here, just a pile of all types of nuts and trash right over the new fresh bed. So glad we got that in time. Good find, Heather. You just were saying you found light at the end of your tunnel.
Yeah, I felt like, I'm gonna be getting this clean down here, and well, got a lot more work to do. So,
yeah. So never ends with the boat, does it?
Nope.
You fix one problem just to find another one. So, but beds are gonna look nice, be awesome down here when we're done. So it's gonna be well worth the little bit more hassle to get this done right. So, all right, let's get to it. All right, well, we're still churning along. Man, hands covered, clothes covered. At least the face isn't covered, but for the most part, I don't know if I can describe to you guys how daunting of a task this is to caulk a 43-foot wood boat. And these boards on the back are wide. On the side, they're narrower than that. All the way down the bottom, all the way up the sides, all the way around the deck, everything. And I mean, especially from like the rub rail down, like that's got to be watertight. Like the thing is, it's not. Like it's just not watertight. I don't know how else to say it. Like it's just not 100% watertight. It's wood boat, I know. And they say wood boats are supposed to leak. The boards are supposed to expand, but like how much? I've never done this. So how much is it supposed to expand? You know what I mean? That's why it's daunting. It's a daunting task because like, I mean, I'm shoving caulk in those seams and I just have no real idea if that's enough or if I need more or if the boards are going to expand enough. And then we're going to drop this thing in the water and it's supposed to be waterproof. So it's a daunting task. Not only that, but I'm gonna have to go back over. Once I get everything done, I'm gonna go back over every single seam, every little hole, and recaulk. Just because I want to be extra sure that it's watertight. But we are all the way around to above the rub rail, just above the rub rail. So I got like back here, I don't got much. I got like 3 seams. Or 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 seams all the way around. And then up on the front, it's a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seams. 7 seams on the front. I'll have to get the scaffolding for that. Same thing over here. Really hoping to get this done today, but we're running out of daylight. Same thing on here. 3 seams above the rub rail. I got, like I said, some of these big holes. They're supposed to be watertight, or is that fine? You know, just keep shoving caulk in these giant gaping holes. I don't know. So it's a daunting, tedious, long, back-breaking job. So we're getting her done though, and honestly, it's crazy to think about how many days, hours, weeks I've sacrificed to work on this boat. That I could have been like fishing, or like, you know, I made the joke early on, like, why couldn't I just pick fishing as this year's summer hobby? Instead, I chose boat building. So I'm just joking around. It's gonna be so fulfilling once this thing's done, and we just got to keep busting her through it. And I'm glad I got the family out here this weekend, hanging out, getting some work done, having a good time. So, yep, just keep after it. All right, hon, you got any regrets?
I don't know.
You're a lot more animated when the camera wasn't on. You said you're all right, but then now you're like, what?
What?
You said you were all right, but now that you got into this, you're like, ugh.
Oh yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Right. It's pretty gross. So, squirrel nest number 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever is in here, clean. So I'll have to rebuild the boards around it. Those wires are so rigid you can't move them. I was hoping I could slap it up against the ceiling, maybe pin it in position, but just gonna have to rebuild that little section. We got some plywood, so we'll tack it up, cover it up, but it's nice to have that musty mess, or a lot of it anyways, because it goes into the wall a little bit, and at some point you gotta call it. All right, giving her a good shake. We bought it pretty new. It was stirred fresh and everything. So, giving her a good shake. George Kirby Jr. Paint. They're out of New Jersey. This guy was awesome help figuring out everything we need to figure out from the paint. Super helpful. If you're building a boat, highly recommended. They're not paying me to say that at all. Just super nice folks to work with. Family-owned business. You call it and you talk. A lot of times you talk to George himself, which I think it's been in the family for a while, but over 150 years. But anyways, getting that primer ready to go. Let me tell you, this kid right here has been absolutely begging me ever since we talked about the boat and painting it to get to paint it. So, are you excited about that, Brooke? She's just constantly ever since we left, and I told her this is what we're gonna do. She's been asking me when we're gonna do it. So glad that the time schedule worked out for her to be a part of the painting. The unsung hero of the boat cleaning weekend. The guys aren't going to recognize the inside of the V-berth in the pilot house when they get here. I don't know if it ever would have got cleaned if it was just up to us. Nothing to say?
Nope.
All right, so the painting's coming along. You can see we got the railings and the edge. It's taken, just like everything else on the boat ever, it's taken longer than I would have guessed. So I'm trying to get all the edges where the paint roller won't get. For the primer, all we got to do is get the bare wood. So get right in the corners all the way up, and then I'll be able to take the rollers and just roll right along. So this part takes a little bit. The rollers will go way faster, but yeah, it ain't a cakewalk, and it's 80 degrees, and I'm fighting a cold and boat life. We'll get her done though, and not a minute too soon if I have to guess, with our September 1st deadline. All right, progress update. Had to enlist my wife to help, and Brookie's back out here. But it's starting to come together, We got a lot of it primed on the edges, the railing, all the edges. So I'm gonna jump out here. Oh, there's our plane friend again. All right, so I'm gonna jump up here and take the roller and roller the floors. So, how's it going, Brookie?
Good.
You love painting? Do you love the boat? Good job, keep at it. Let me see a big smile. Well, this is a very different look inside the boat. We got kids playing, toys drawn around. Ricky, what you up to? You're watching some cartoons on the phone. So, definitely a change of pace from bros hanging out, working all day with 3 dudes, and then coming in. We usually play chess and hang out at night, but definitely super enjoyable to have the family here. And a cool change of pace, seeing what they think of the boat. Just little bundles of joy there, so. But we're still turning away. Sun's beating down on us. Primer. So I have 3 gallons. I have 1 gallon of white left. So I'm just gonna do it with white. And I just have pretty much this section right here to the back deck over there. So I got a little bit on the walls here, and then from here on I got the back rail and then this. So unfortunately, thought I had enough, but I'll use that white. That's supposed to be for the outside. But it is what it is. So we'll get after it, and whatever I got left is what I got left. And I guess I'll have to buy 1 more gallon of primer if I had to guess. I will say one thing though, this is crazy to look at compared to what it has been with, you know, looking at stuff like that all the time. Now you look right down this row, it's just so clean. So that's awesome. All right, another day, and I'm absolutely freaking cooked. This cold has kicked my butt, so I gotta finish the caulking. So you can see some of these, I mean, these seams are great that I had going. All the seams I added are great, but the other thing I gotta do is come back to seams like that, because that's definitely not gonna hold water. So unfortunate, but that's what we're gonna have to do. Call around the whole boat and make sure all that stuff is good too. Yeah, the priming took way longer than I thought, but last thing you probably saw was me painting myself into the cabin last night. Slept like crap, hawked up loogies all night, and here we are again. So it does look like rain. Hopefully it holds off and I can get the rest. I gotta get the front. There's like just a tiny square up the front, and then I gotta do the rub rail up all the way to the front as well on this side, and then crawl under and check all our old seams to make sure that we did everything. I know we didn't do them well enough, so I can fix all of our crap from the last time we seamed on the last day with Friday energy. But yeah, and up here, the backside, there's like 3 seams up. Then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seams once I get to beyond the rub rail over there. So I got my work cut out. If I still have enough time and energy after that, I'll prime all the bare wood over here, and it mostly comes down to time because the family is ready to go home. All right, well, that is a wrap on the weekend. Made some huge progress. You never feel like you get enough done though. So I mean, the whole top of this thing is just looking spiffy, and we got some stuff sealed up here. Got all of it primed. Almost all of it is sealed with the primer as well. So things are definitely looking up on the boat progress. Like I said, never feels like you get enough done. And I extended myself to the fullest of my energy. Now it's time to go home. So family is definitely ready. We're getting a late start to get back, but got the little one tuckered out, ready to drive home. So, all right, Brookie, we're saying goodbye to the boat. Are you glad you came? That's all you got, man. You talk 24/7 until I bring out the camera. What'd you think of the boat? Was it pretty cool?
Good.
Good? Did the boat live up to the expectations?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, we're about to get on the road. We all worked hard. We're all tired and sweaty, and we're going to have a late night. But the boat looks way better than it did when we got here. We got a lot done. So thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you on the next one.